You got it, buddy! Good job, Boo Bear!
Propeller tail.
It's a propeller tail. He doesn't usually do that.
Oh, now it's all wet.
Good job, Bubba. You got it, buddy. What a good Boo Bear. What a good Boo Bear. You're my beautiful baby, Bubba Bear. You're my beautiful baby. You gonna bring it all the way up? You gonna bring it all the way up here? Come on, all the way. All the way. What a good boy. What a good Boo Bear.
Take a piss. Time for another round. Oh, don't roll in that water. Other doggies pee over there.
All right, ready to go down to the next one? Ready to go down to the next one? Ooh, sha, sha, sha. Ooh, sha, sha, sha. Ooh, sha, sha, sha.
Careful, there is somebody fishing right down there by the next one. I think we're okay, yeah. Just gotta watch out for the fisher dude. How you doing, Boo? Huh? Good swim? Good swim? Yeah?
I got the ball.
Come on, we got a ball, let's
I
go.
got the ball.
That does not look like a limpy dog, but hopefully he won't jump too much and hurt himself in the process. It's the after effects that bother me. You're never sore during the football game, just afterwards.
There's a wire over there. See the wire netting right there? Right at the base of the tree right there. The wire netting, you can't see it?
I can't, no. Is it out in the water? Oh yeah, maybe they're trying to protect something from going in that hole. Like animals or something. Girl, where you going?
Pay attention.
Yep. Yep. Oh, now with the ground cover, it makes it hard to see. Sure.
Ready?
No, you guys, I got video.
Ready, go. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. What a funny go-go. Good job, Bubba. Good job, Bubba. What a good Boo Bear. What a good Boo Bear. Come on, Bubba, all the way up here. Come on, all the way up here. Come on, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up.
Good job, buddy. Very good Boo Bear, you know.
No.
Come on, girl, let's go.
Tagging trees. How low do you gotta go to tag fucking trees? I mean, what
That's
is
the ultimate in douchebaggery right there. I'm so cool, I'm gonna tag a tree. Idiots. Idiots. Don't you know that's nature, man? Can you believe it's November and it's 50 degrees outside here in the great Pacific Northwest? Although they say we're going to get some freezing levels down to 500 feet and some snow in the foothills tonight and maybe the next couple days. Yeah, we might get later in the week, we're going to see the high of 39, it said. Certainly not freezing cold like Wisconsin or North Dakota, right? There goes your brother.
Buddy.
Go get your brother.
Good job, buddy. Come on, bring it up. Come on, bring it up.
Get the ball. You want to get the ball, girl? Think she'll want to get it? Hey, Rufus, come on.
Hello. Hi everybody, my name is Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's a wonderful Tuesday night. I got my toque from the Great White North. We gotta keep warm. It's snowing outside. Not yet, but it's going to be. And I got my beautiful babies down by Lake Washington there to start off the show. I think that's a good way to start the show. It's a good way to start any day, right? If you guys want to send Christmas goodies, Christmas cards, there is the address to send them to, 2226 East Lake Ave East. East Lake Ave East, number 169, Seattle. Don't forget it. Yeah, Lake Washington with the dogs and the leaves is very beautiful. This is a very nice thing. Let's see. Favorite treats. I like all I had was the Curly Wurly. I had the Curly Wurly and I had the fromage. But I had the Curly Wurly and that was it. I try to limit myself. I try to have this much. I don't know. I don't try to do it overdo it on the sweets. I like them. I make sure that I have them around. I want them almost after every meal. I don't have them after every meal, but I do like them. So this is I got this big pile of stuff still. I didn't it's still right here. It's all right here. Everything's still right here. So Craig's like, ooh, Aero Bar. I haven't seen Aero Bars in forever. So that one's got his name on it, I guess. The Aero Bar. Okay, so I thanks so much for joining us, everyone. My name's Mike, and we're doing this live event every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Now, I haven't decided yet if we're doing a live call-in show on Thanksgiving. Wondering what you guys think about doing a live call-in show on Thanksgiving. If we should be, if we should be doing it for Thanksgiving, or just let everybody take the night off and relax. It's not about me. I'm gonna trust me. I'm relaxed. I'm gonna be relaxed either way. That's my life. Okay. I'm not looking for, aggravation. So, anyways, yes, it's Santa. I have a neighbor who's about 5 years old, and every time I walk by his house, he runs out and he says, "Hi, Santa!" So, and I get that a lot at the doggy park too. So, and I don't think it's just the beard that the kids see. So, the kids see something magical. Okay. And you can, be in denial about it or whatever. But, the kids believe in magic. And when they see me and they see Santa, they see magic. That's what they're seeing. So, it ain't just a beard. Hey, look at that, we got a call. Hello, caller.
Senor Moxie.
What's up, G?
Nah, Nada, man. Nada. I think we're going to invade Mexico.
You know, if Pete Buttigieg has his way, it looks like we're going to invade Mexico.
Yeah, because Trump or somebody in the government declared the cartels enemy terrorists today. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear that. No, I didn't. Did he do that publicly, or I mean, was it an executive order or something like that, or?
It's probably a statement from Homeland Security that they declared the cartels in Mexico foreign terrorists. That's the language that I read.
Well, then it was awfully convenient of them to have that attack last month, wasn't it?
Oh, you mean the Mormons?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't even connect those dots.
That's so convenient.
Yeah, but they weren't American citizens, were they? Were they American citizens?
I believe that they were Americans.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh, okay. Yep.
So, hey, you have plans for Thanksgiving?
No, I sent really nasty letters to all my relatives telling them I'll fuck off, I'll beat them with a stick, don't come near me. And so I'm just going to sit here trimming. I'm not even going to make a turkey this year. I love making turkey, but...
You can do that any day.
Yeah, I know, and I do. Whenever I feel like it, I make a turkey. I got like 3 of them in my freezer, so...
Sweet. So, how many more weeks of trimming you got left?
Well, it's supposed to rain here tonight, and I still got about 10 plants outdoors.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, but they'll dry out. You know, as long as it's not a heavy rain, they'll dry out. And I overgrew this year, so yeah, I got rooms full of dry stuff here, so I'll just stay indoors and bag it up. And I'm looking at a big pile of it right now. It looks like a big mess of sticks, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything's cool here.
Right on.
Yeah.
Did you hear this stuff about the CBD? The
FDA,
yeah,
FDA issues warning about CBD. What are they saying, that the synthetic stuff is better?
No, they're saying that it's potentially harmful to you.
Holy
and that
fuck.
everyone should stop taking CBD immediately.
Well, who profits from that scenario? I wonder. Let me think.
Not the night before Thanksgiving. You know, alcohol is very bad for you, and and everybody should probably stop taking it immediately. But or cigarettes. But fucking CBD is horrible.
Maybe I should vape glyphosate and see if that works on my pain and my insanity. If I just vape some glyphosate, I think that'll do it. We don't need CBD. Glyphosate all the way, baby.
Is that the synthetic one?
No, glyphosate is that fucking pesticide that's in all the wines. It's on your food. It's in your bread. It's
that's the stuff that causes cancer, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's deadly.
They're finding it in all the children's cereals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it. That's the one right there. They'll put it in all your food and all over your crops, but CBD is dangerous. It makes you go insane, I hear.
Yeah.
I think CBD makes you masturbate a lot, so I would recommend everybody stop using the CBD and just get on your knees and with the Bible in your hands and pray for forgiveness for masturbating, because Interstellar Jesus doesn't approve. That's what CBD does. Makes you masturbate and drool. It'll make you drool because that's how it rolls. That's how it rolls. So, I don't know.
Well, it's crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, it's the night before Thanksgiving or whatever, and they're saying CBD, not alcohol, is incredibly dangerous, and you should probably think twice before using it, or how bad it is to use cigarettes around children. It's CBD. Must stop taking CBD immediately. Emergency. Warning, Will Robinson. Warning.
I got so much cannabis oil that I could glaze my turkey with it. I literally got 2 gallons of it, man. So I could use it as a glaze on the turkey, you know.
Nice. Yeah, that's
People
good.
might OD, but yeah.
Well, but that sounds awesome. That sounds like a very interesting turkey. I want to see how that one turns out.
I actually mix up. First of all, I make the best stuffing, but for the glazes, I use a tomato type sauce with lots of chili powder and things like barbecue sauce. But I also put in pancake syrup. Nobody uses pancake syrup for the glazing their turkey, but it works great, you know. But
we just always cover them in bacon. We just wrap it in bacon.
I've never done that.
Yeah, wrap it in bacon, let it sit in the oven. Then when it comes out of the oven, you got all this tasty treats to work on before you get to the turkey.
Whoa, yeah. I hear if you get a frozen turkey and you fully submerge it in boiling oil, that works pretty good too.
I've heard that also, but I heard it can be kind of dangerous. Oh, you mean like as a marinade or a glaze or something?
No,
Well,
I think they explode if you put a frozen turkey into boiling oil. I think somebody died doing that a couple times.
yeah,
so
that's really those deep frying turkeys is. I've never done that, but I'm not into putting myself in danger of burning down the house and being homeless on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how many extra houses burn down on Thanksgiving. I know Christmas trees are a very serious fire hazard, but I don't know any statistics on burning down houses. I know there's probably more murders on Thanksgiving than any other time except for 4th of July. 4th of July is technically the most dangerous day of the year, the most dangerous holiday. That's when people shoot each other and drink too much and blow things up. And no, I just avoid my family. They're too. I just hate them. I hate them like the Dickens.
Wow. Yeah, I pretty much avoid my family too. There's no real connection there, and my brother just wants to argue with me, and my sister just wants to act like she's better than everybody. Fuck that. What's the point?
Yeah, that's exactly how my sister is too. She's square. She's you can't explain anything to her. I've literally sat next to her and pointed up at the sky at chemtrails and tried to explain to her what chemtrails are, and to her they're contrails, right? And then I tried to talk to her about vaccines, and
there were no contrails when we were growing up, not like that.
There wasn't.
They didn't hang in the sky for fucking hours.
Yeah, and she's a nurse midwife, right? She runs a maternity ward at Kaiser Permanente. So I try to talk to her about vaccines, and I try to talk to her about not cutting the cord too soon, let the white blood cells and all the good stuff flow from the placebo or the placenta to the baby for a couple of minutes, and that'll boost the baby's immune system. And I try to talk to her about JFK or 911. I give her books on 911. And, it's like, it's useless. I mean, you can't, she's one of these hypnotized people that she'll vote for Hillary, and Trump is probably the bad guy, and your government can't do anything wrong, and there's nothing we can do about it. She's the exact opposite of me. And no amount of information, no amount of documentation, no amount of reasoning, no amount of scientific data is ever going to change some people's mind. And yet, I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. So, hallelujah, praise Jesus, pass the hand grenades, and thank God for tryptophan, L-tryptophan. You know what tryptophan is, right?
Yeah, that's the chemical in turkeys that make people want to go to sleep right after they ate Thanksgiving dinner, right?
Yeah, I just inject that shit straight into my vein. I mainline that shit, tryptophan, and I just pass out.
Well, that doesn't sound like a guy who's got 10 more trees to groom.
Yeah, well, no. It's kind of groovy. I just work whenever I want. If I get up at 3 in the morning and I work till noon, and then I pass out again, and I got no schedule, and
Yeah.
so I'm very lucky. I'm very blessed. Nonetheless, Bolivia is fucked. So my brothers and sisters in Bolivia are getting killed. Just like I told you on the 9th or the 10th, man. South America is under attack, and Hong Kong, good shit happened in Hong Kong. I'm sure you heard about
The
that.
election?
Right?
You talking about the election?
Yeah.
Yeah, the election seemed like a pretty positive thing in Hong Kong. The people have spoken. Now back the
90%.
fuck off, police.
90%, yeah.
Back the fuck off, you fucking shitty cops. You fucking shitty cops. The only reason there's any violence in the streets of Hong Kong is because of fucking police and the police state that China wants to inject.
Exactly. But so many people were telling me online that it was a American-funded coup and it's not organic, and
Whatever.
we're going against China. It's like these are like Democrats that are supposedly for human rights, and it's like Hong Kong is a coup, but Bolivia is a democratic action, you know. So go figure it out. I can't figure these people out. It's like when people get out in the streets, usually 9 out of 10 times they're upset about something legitimate, you know. And if I was in Hong Kong, I would not want China to be coming and throwing its weight around Hong Kong, because these people they're too westernized. They've got 100 years of westernization and capitalization and relative pretty good freedoms there, you know.
Yeah.
They love America. They love American freedom. That's what everybody around the world likes. Even though all these foreigners also recognize that we're a bunch of hypnotized pussies who can't go out in the street and do anything because we're too fucking sheep-like. But they love our freedoms. We have it good here.
Michael, I don't think that's it, bro. I think that we've gone out in the streets and we've gone out in the streets and we've gone out in the streets and nothing comes of it except for we get our fucking faces bashed in. And you know, and nothing comes of it. So I'm not saying that that the people are done doing it. I'm just saying it's not a matter of, you know, that we don't want to, or that we're too weak, or, you know, thin-skinned, or, you know, weak-spined or whatever. I think it's a matter of the fact that, you know, you know what I'm saying, that we've gone out and we've gone out and we've gone out and nothing comes of it.
Yeah. Well, you and I, you know, we know that when we say the word "we," as if we're referring to all Americans, we're really only describing a portion of America. And it's true we historically get our faces bashed in, and it's true they've kind of beaten us down since Occupy Wall Street, and you don't see too much organized street action, if you could call Occupy Wall Street organized. But that was my big moment. I was right there. I gave hundreds of dollars worth of stuff to people I never met just so that they could stay camped out on the mayor's lawn, you know. And I did everything I could do, and they still let me down. And nothing really has happened since then. But and it will happen again. Americans will go out in the street again.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm saying. You're saying that they're too willy-nilly, weak-kneed, or whatever, but I think it's not that. It's just that they're taking a breather, and as soon as they feel like their backs are up against the wall, you know, I think that they're real, because there's all this game playing going on with impeachment and the Russians and all this fucking crazy, sick, fucked up lies and bullshit that just, you know, you don't even want to be involved in it at all, you know? It's just stupid, and I don't want anything to do with it, you know?
Yeah, the Milo Yiannopoulos riots were we're the biggest event on the street since Occupy Wall Street, and all that stuff is pretty partisan, anti-intellectual, and really not too important, with the exception, I think, of Black Lives Matter. And I support the Me Too movement. There's nothing wrong with women coming out saying, I've been raped, I've been abused, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
I love girl power. I fucking love girl power, man.
Yeah, when it's legit. I mean,
Yeah.
just don't hate.
Right.
Just don't hate me. I'm the
Right.
guy who's gonna. I'm the guy who's gonna jump in there and defend you.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I love. Like I said, I love girl power. I'm gonna stand up for you. I'm gonna be there having your back, pushing you forward, as opposed to somehow trying to stand in front of you and keep you from moving forward. So, you got to recognize your enemy.
Well, we're due for another national street action of some kind. And who knows? It might be at election time. If they could impeach Trump, and maybe all the Looney Tune people would come out in the street and protest something or other. I certainly won't. I'm not going to jump to Donald Trump's defense. But with all that impeachment stuff, if the population does not see that these are all the machinations and the illegitimate power of a real deep state, not a fake deep state, a real deep state that's had a hold on America and American institutions for, 75 years minimum. If you can't see that, you're really politically ignorant, because that's exactly what's happening. Is the deep state is trying to unseat a lawfully elected president with a bunch of bullshit, and the Congress is backing it, and apparently the Democrats are more involved with the deep state than the Republicans are. But
The deep state being like part of the CIA and the FBI, or at least involved in those organizations too. Is that what? Yeah.
Military, intelligence, corporate banking complex. So you got the military and all the corporations, which we can go through all the corporations, but we won't. The intelligence complex is mostly the deep state. They're the ones fucking around with Ukraine for the last 10 years and doing this and doing that and taking over. The intelligence complex is in South America right now. They're in Africa.
Yeah.
Just look up AFRICOM.
Yeah.
And they're in Europe. I mean, and in order to cover their tracks, they just say, "Oh, Russia's the big enemy. Russia hacked us. Russia did that. Russia did that. Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian asset." Whatever the bullshit story they make up this week, it's like, if you haven't seen through that shit, if you didn't see through that shit when Libya fell, you're really slow. But then we got another 7 years of trying to overthrow Assad, who is a really well-loved president, right? He's not a bad guy at all. And I'm sure you saw about 3 days ago the organization, United Nations organization that looks into chemical weapons, they were busted. Somebody got a hold of their paperwork and they were busted falsifying the attacks on Duma, which happened about 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, I posted a story about that yesterday.
Oh, yeah, cool. So, it doesn't matter what comes out. They could bust everybody involved with JFK and nobody would really care. They could say, oh, maybe Israel was involved in the 9/11 attacks, and then Kim Kardashian has a booby accident, and that takes over as lead story, right? Janet Jackson had a booby accident on TV, so let's pay attention to that. It's like, I hate to be so square, but I just really want people to pay attention to important matters. And I think you're right. I think marijuana and legalization is an important matter, but
Freedom
You
is
know.
freedom. I mean, we have to make sure that we have to have priorities, and freedom has to be at top of the list.
well, I try to live my life free. I
Right.
think
It's the weed though has really has a lot to be able to. The weed offers so much in the way of freedom. I mean, it's going to free up this whole planet if we can just get over this fucking bullshit.
oh man, it'd be so great if we could build houses regularly out of hemp and
Fuel the cars. Fuel the cars on it.
fuel the cars, create food,
Yeah.
excellent clothing. Everybody's wearing hemp.
Yeah.
Right now the only hemp stuff we got is a few shirts and pants and the dollar bills, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So I would love to see, and just think of all the young people that would jump in on the hemp industry. It's a dirty, grungy industry, but the young people would do it, man.
Well,
Yeah.
Farming is farming. I mean, farming is going to be, getting farming. I mean, so it's not if that's what there's going to be plenty of people who will be very interested in doing it, and it's going to be so amazingly good for the environment. All the pesticides that we don't have to use then, all the fucking it's supposed to remove a lot of carbon from the air too.
Right, especially the houses. If the houses remove carbon, then just the fields of hemp alone will remove carbon. But yeah, I think they're 3 or 4 times more productive per acre than trees are.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, and that's just in building materials. That's not in carbon. I don't know the stats on the carbon, but I'm not really worried about carbon. The major greenhouse gas is water vapor. It's like carbon is 0.04% of the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide. So it's like that whole scam about carbon dioxide is bad for the planet. That's not true. Methane's bad for the planet. Glyphosate bad for the planet. Nuclear radioactive materials are bad for the planet. But, carbon is like, pretty soon the Russian ants are going to come and invade us with Ebola viruses. What's next? What kind of scam can they pull on the people who just believe everything they're told? It's like carbon dioxide is just a natural part of the atmosphere, and it greens the planet. It's what all the plants eat.
Yeah.
They eat. But the nice thing about hemp is it will actually clean up nuclear radiation in the soil. So I'm not sure on the science of that or what you do with the hemp after it sucks the radioactive particles out of the soil. But it's got a lot of
smoke
uses.
it.
yeah, right. With glyphosate. Right.
Yeah, no, I've heard that too. I think that, and that's what I'm saying. I think, and people are like, why are you so big on marijuana? Stop with all the marijuana stuff. It's, it's so meant to be part of our daily world, and taking it away from us is the reason that we're having the issues that we're having. A lot of the issues that we're having on this planet is because the cannabis has been taken away from us. It's because it's been made into an evil substance.
Oh, you know what I learned today, Mike?
Yeah.
You're familiar with that term speakeasy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I learned that came from when they had prohibition of alcohol.
Yeah.
And some places, bars and taverns, would sell alcohol either without a permit or under the against the actual prohibition laws. That the tavern owners and the barkeeps would say, "Speak easy, boys, speak easy," when the people in the bar were making too much noise. So that's where the word speakeasy came from. So was under the prohibition of alcohol, which was I'm not for a prohibition of alcohol.
No, it's fucking. You can't. Look, if people want to drink, they're gonna drink. If people
Right.
want to fucking do Whatever it is they want to do, they're going to do that. And when you tell them no, you can't do that, it makes it worse. It makes it, well, yeah, who the fuck do you think you are? You know, I'll do what I want to do. You know, it's
Yeah, I don't even know how long. Maybe your buddy in Canada, the Steve or whatever his name is, will come on and say how long Prohibition actually lasted. I don't think it lasted more than maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years. You know, but it was a tough time for guys like me that, you know, like I'm a marijuana grower, but just think if I was in the 20s and 30s, 20s, whenever it was. I think it was the 30s actually, that, you know, the rough and tumble, like, fuck you government criminals would go out in the boonies and make their stills and make their alcohol, and then they would have to drive through police roadblocks and stuff, and so they were breaking the law, and then apparently some of them, the good ones, made a lot of money. So I got respect for, you know, privateers like that disobeyed the law at any time in history. You know, it's like Jacques Lafitte was a pirate during the Revolutionary War. He ended up helping out Andrew Jackson. You know, was that no, not Jackson, Jefferson, Thomas Jefferson, or was that the Civil War? Anyways, I don't know. I think it was the Revolutionary War. Jacques Lafitte was a pirate, and he helped out Thomas Jefferson. And there's a great movie with some famous with Yul Brynner as the pirate. You know, I can't remember the name of the movie, but you can hardly find it. But it was a great movie. So the pirates in life, and a lot of people don't even know, the pirates had licenses from the Queen of England at one point for a lot of years, many decades. The Queen of England wanted to rule the seas, and Spain ruled the Caribbean. So the Queen of England granted licenses to the pirates of the Caribbean. They could, as long as they didn't attack English ships. So I'm not, you know, murdering people at sea and stuff. That's not really my bag. But in some respects, the pirates, I consider myself to be a pirate, right? I break every law possible because fuck the government. That's my.
It's not just you, okay? There's a whole giant percentage of Americans who feel that way, and I mean giant percentage. You meant like you're talking about when they would go out in the backwoods and they set up their stills and then they'd have to drive through fucking police lines to get their alcohol out to people. You know, they made movies about those guys. Remember the White Lightning with Burt Reynolds? Remember that movie? He had a souped up Ford where he delivered fucking alcohol for the fucking, what are those guys called? Big moonshiners. For the
moonshiners, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got respect for anybody that tries to live the life of a free man despite the insane regulations created by their government. Because I read stuff all the time how people, they're not allowed to collect their own rainwater. Apparently the government owns the fucking rainwater. You know, and you can't move more than a certain amount of dirt without getting a permit. Sometimes that makes sense if you're on a hillside or something. Yeah, it's just too much government regulation. You know, to set up a business, it'll cost you $10,000 to get a conditional use permit. So that prevents most of the people from setting up their own businesses.
Right.
And so it's just too much. You know, where are all the taxes going? The taxes are going to kill people in foreign lands, mostly, or they're going to Israel to kill people in foreign lands. And
right.
So it's an insane, you know, break as many laws as you can as long as you're being a just and noble person, and fuck the government.
Government.
Yeah, man, and you're not, excuse me, you're not a criminal. You're just living your life as a free man, you know. The founding fathers never would have put up with this shit, you know.
See my T-shirt? See my T-shirt? It says "Got Freedom."
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, you got a nice Christmas tree there too, Mike. That's so beautiful.
it's nice. It's a nice setting. It seems like a easy way to go. And the fractals were really distracting me. I was like, I'm getting hypnotized. Oh.
Well, yeah. When you stare at that stuff too long, the fractals or any kind of spinning pattern like that,
Yeah.
you for too long, you take your eyes away from the screen, and whatever you're looking at spins also. So you probably gave at least 2 people epileptic seizures just by putting the fractals up there. But I'm expecting Jon Snow to come behind you, or maybe a White Walker or something. You know, maybe the Night King is going to come and put the star on your Christmas tree or something.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I would love to see that. I'd be like, what's happening? So yeah, no, I agree. Fuck the government. I mean, that's kind of where Mox News has always been, you know. And I think, like I said, I think that's partially why it's attracted so much attention, is because it's not just another, government source, another government lackey spinning lies your direction to, cover the Pentagon's ass and the president's ass and, whichever party it is that you're trying to pander to's ass, Mox News has always been about, these guys are your fucking enemies, and they need to be in prison, to make the world a safer place for little children, plain and simple.
And they don't care about the children either. They pretend to care.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
They take kids away from their parents.
The future, the children, this should be the top priority. If there's something we need to take care of now, there's something we need to take care of now. And when it comes to some bullshit like a war that we need to make happen, it's so easy. We go, okay, bomb the fucking shit out of that place right now. Just bomb the fucking shit out of it. And then it's done. We don't have to have these big fucking bullshit wars. China doesn't want a war. They may if we keep going this direction, but they don't want a war now. They just want to fucking take all our money,
You know what they told the mainland Chinese people about what was going on in Hong Kong?
What's that?
They told the mainland Chinese people, the citizens, that the entire action going on in Hong Kong at first was about a criminal who escaped to Hong Kong, and they couldn't extradite him back to the mainland because there was no extradition treaty. And that's what the regular Chinese people were told by their government, that it was about some criminal who escaped. But obviously, no.
I think the mainstream media here kind of tried to paint it that way at first also.
Yeah, well, we did hear something initially about an extradition treaty, and then all the people rose up in the streets, and I think here we are, 5 months later, they finally had an election with 90% of the people voting in the Democratic leaders, who are all trying to back the people, at least with their words. And so we'll see what happens. I'm for freedom all around the globe, but just still, like when when the Egyptian revolution was going on, they overthrew Mubarak, and then Morsi stepped in, and in that initial couple of weeks, I was telling all my friends in Egypt, write your own constitution, circulate it, make changes to it, and circulate it again, and get a consensus, and write your own constitution. And nobody listened to me. And within about 5 or 6 weeks, Morsi, the Islamic leader at the time, the guy who was voted in, barely he won the election. They came up in the parliament, in the Egyptian parliament, they came up with a new constitution. The first line of the constitution was, Egypt is an Islamic state. Boom, boom, blew freedom out of the water with that one.
Yeah.
And so it's really up to the people.
And listen, There is no country that is this religion or that religion. It's governments that are this religion and that religion, and those governments are not about freedom. They're not about equality. They're racist, hate-filled governments that are trying to limit the people's options and persecute people unjustly. So any country that says that they're a Jewish state or a Christian state or a fucking Islamic state is pure evil state. And it's the government. It's not the country. There is no piece of land that is a religion. But there's government. It's the governments that make it that way, and that's pure evil. Go ahead, Michael.
Well, your primary historical examples would be Hitler in Germany, persecuting the Gypsies and the Jews, and then Israel in Palestine persecuting the Palestinians. And in some ways, it's actually worse than what happened in Germany. In some ways, it's less. But those two examples are your two primary examples. But you also in Bolivia, Colombia, and Brazil, you have far-right fascists in all of those countries and more who are persecuting the indigenous populations, just like Hitler persecuted the Gypsies or Israel persecutes the Palestinians. Right now, the far-right Christian fascists are declaring that indigenous people are satanic and these are Christian nations, and of course they're funded by the United States of America, and they're funded. So what you have is a Christian fascist takeover of half of the South American countries right now, where indigenous people are being shot, killed, their houses burned, they're thrown into prison, they're disenfranchised in every way. That's why Morales left. They were beating up mayors, burning houses, threatening. They were killing people, and so we're seeing history repeat itself like a fractal. You know, it's like that's what's happening in South America, and I am sure not in favor of it. I'm in favor of indigenous people everywhere. I'm a big supporter of Dakota Access Pipeline protests. I'm a big supporter of Eskimos and Palestinians and indigenous people in Peru and Bolivia and everywhere.
And freedom. It's not just the indigenous people. It's the right and the freedom of those people. Those people become immediately persecuted by whatever evil government wants to move in and announce, like you're saying, that they're Christian or Jewish or Islamic. Those people are immediately the first target.
It's all bigotry.
Yeah.
Screwing with black people in America or Africa is bigotry. Screwing with indigenous people anywhere is bigotry. And you can have like the reverse bigotry that's going on. You can there's this premise. It's called thesis, antithesis, synthesis, and so that works out in a million ways in every political situation throughout history. But right now in South Africa, the white people are being discriminated against, and their farms are being torched, and the people are being killed and disenfranchised.
They're being told that they're not allowed to own land anymore, right?
Right. It's really bad, and that's the synthesis part of what's called the Hegelian dialectic. Is first you come up with a thesis, then you have an opposite reaction, which is called an antithesis, and then it synthesizes into something new. And so you can look at any part of history and you'll see that's kind of what happens. So they, these governments, they plan and plot against their people. And there's a guy in Hawaii, I can't remember his name. He used to have a call-in show, but he made a really good movie called All Wars Are Bankers' Wars. And
Are you talking about Mike Rivera?
Mike Rivera, right? Yeah. And it's true. All wars are bankers' wars, and these things we see popping up all over the globe are the result of international monetary forces. And believe me, they can crash the American economy overnight, you know, and they'll blame it on Pokemon or Bozo the Clown, you know, say, oh, we didn't know this was going to happen. So that's what they did during the Great Depression, and they can do it again. So I don't trust the bankers, and I don't trust anybody who licks the boots of the bankers, and I don't trust politicians. And Tulsi Gabbard was on Joe Rogan today. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it. Was it good?
Yeah, pretty good. Joe Rogan is pretty laid back, and Tulsi Gabbard can just roll with
Did he light a joint and try and get her to smoke it?
I didn't. I didn't see the whole thing. I still have it up there. I've only got a third of the way through it, but yeah, I thought you might want to might be interested in that.
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
Yeah, she's pretty chill, and but yeah, I don't think she's bought off. Half the activists I know are, you know, she's a globalist, and she's part of the military-industrial complex, and
Right.
she's with the CFR, and she's this and she's that. It's like, dude.
I'm really surprised they're not like, she's a homophobe. That's what I really expect them to bring to the forefront over and over and over again.
Well, she was at one time. She was against gay marriage at one time.
Yeah.
And then she had to change her heart, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, she's not. I could get along with her. You could get along with her. She's not going to arrest us.
It seems like she's going to do a whole lot better than not arrest us. That she's going to try and get the boot of the police state off of our necks, which would be nice.
Well, one of the things that Joe Rogan was talking about was no matter who they put in office, you know, Nixon, Reagan, Ford, Bush Sr., Clinton, Bush Jr., Obama, and now Trump. Trump is trying as hard as he can to kind of push the wheel in a sensible direction, but no matter how hard they push, any president pushes, including JFK, it barely even makes a dent. And what that statement that he made today was really saying is every president is fighting the deep state. There's a hidden government.
Which statement was it that he made that said that?
The one I just said about all the presidents and and Trump, and no matter how hard they push, they can never really make a dent. That was his statement.
Oh, is that right? He said that earlier today, huh?
To Tulsi Gabbard, yeah. And
Joe Rogan. I thought you said Trump said that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, there's Joe Rogan talking about Trump and all the presidents and how none of them can really, no matter how hard they try, none of them can really make a dent. You know, you might get like a 2% success rate because they're fighting the deep state now, and I completely agree with them. I think, you know, I think our government was taken over in 1913 with the creature from Jekyll Island that founded the Federal Reserve, and that was the third or fourth attempt at the European international bankers in taking over American money. You know, and a lot of people. You know, a lot of people will take it back to Rothschild and this and that, and there's a lot of validity in that argument. But, you know, all wars really are bankers' wars, and, you know, they're just going to throw us a bone. You know, give them gay marriage, that way they won't bitch about international banking, you know, or, you know, change
it's not just that they won't bitch about international banking. It's that way they'll believe they're making progress.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. It's like, you know, I can't eat a bone. Don't throw me a fucking bone. I don't want a bone. I want my country back. I want everybody to be free. I want you to free the market and free the world, and I want all the bombs to just cease. Even if it's only for a week. Just stop bombing people, you know, and most of all, recognize your brother. Your brother is that starving little kid in Yemen. 80,000 starving kids in Yemen have died. your brother is the Palestinian. Your brother is the chick with the funny hat in Peru or Bolivia. You know,
standing next to you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Recognize your brother, like John Lennon said. You know, instant karma. Recognize your brother. So
Instant karma's
that's
gonna
what-
get you.
right, yeah. It's gonna knock you off your feet. So yeah, that's what I want. That's the most important thing. And what do we see? We see Antifa fighting people who want to keep Confederate statues. I think that's pretty stupid, because I think the Confederate statues are part of our heritage, you know. And I'm not a Southerner, but don't tear down a statue of General Lee. He's not hurting you, you know. You got people with vagina hats on tearing down statues of General Lee.
And Thomas Jefferson and everybody else, man. It's not going to stop with General Lee. And,
Yeah,
and the thing is you're right. I mean, this is our heritage, and it may be ugly, and maybe we need to remember it as that, as such.
Yeah.
You know.
We do need to remember it, all the ugliness and all the bravery.
And as you tear it down, it makes it much more difficult to remember.
Yeah, if they can steal your history, they can steal your present, you know. So I don't want my present stolen. I would rather know about the Trail of Tears. I would rather know that they burnt the fucking White House in 1812. I would rather know about the first Bank of the United States and the second Bank of the United States.
And World Trade Center 7.
Yeah, or 6, or 1 or 2, you know, or 5. I would rather know that they found a dump truck load full of gold in the tunnels underneath WT5, you know. So, you know, I want to know about the My Lai massacre. I want to know about gliophosphate. And we have a real danger popping up right now with this extreme crackdown on YouTube and Google. You know, they're really coming after a lot of the channels. There's a brand new thing I saw that they have the power to take off any channel that's not making money.
Yeah, it's December 10th. There's some kind of big cataclysmic event supposed to happen on YouTube, and it's supposed to be, you know, if your channel's not monetized, or you're not interested in monetizing your channel is no longer welcome. So,
which sucks big time. We'll see what happens, man.
Well, beyond sucks big time. It's a crime against humanity. If you take down something that's of value to all humanity, then you're committing a crime against humanity, okay? And that's who you're choosing to be, Google, YouTube. That's the management of YouTube. That's who you're choosing to be, okay? And you don't have to make that choice. It's all about money. It's solely all about money, obviously. You're not monetized, you're not welcome. Obviously, it's all about money.
Yeah, my channel will bite the dust, you know, and nobody even goes to my channel. It's like my channel's mostly for me, and I'm not making any money, so, I mean, good luck with that, you know. It's like, I mean, I love the amount of information that you can find on YouTube from a billion different sources. And I know half those people aren't making money, you know. And the people that are mirroring other people and just spreading information, I don't think a lot of those people are making money either. So what's it going to take to get the free flow of information? And you're witness to a brand new tactic that they started with Morsi. They killed the president of Egypt, even though he was an Islamic guy, not my kind of guy. But they killed him in prison. He died in the courtroom. He was starved and tortured, basically to death, and he died in the courtroom. They're doing the same thing to Julian Assange. God knows what's happening to Chelsea Manning, and it seems like a brand new tactic. Well, we can't get them in court, and we can't kill them outright. So let's just starve them and kill them. Death by prison is the the brand new thing. Let's not give them medical attention. Let's not give them an hour of sunlight. Let's lock them in solitary, give them crap food. And so that's a brand new thing you're going to have to watch out for. It's like Guantanamo spread to all these other venues, you know, where
Yeah.
we can just starve our prisoners and death by prison, you know.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with Julian Assange. Apparently he's very sick. Everybody's complaining about it. But they did it with the president of a country. They did it with Morsi.
Yeah.
They killed him by
Yeah.
prison.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the Egyptian prisons are known to be, horrific.
yeah, but nonetheless, you would think the guy would get some fucking oatmeal or some diabetes medicine or something, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, that's torture. That's just a slow torture. And you know, I don't know how many billions Egypt gets of American money, but they get a lot. And they do whatever we want them to do. Egypt is a proxy, is a little tool of the United States.
Yeah.
And that's why they got a general running the show. And they had just this week, just on Monday, or on the weekend, they had on Friday actually, last Friday, they had a giant crackdown on the one and only actual kind of a rebel news organization, Mazda, I forget that, Mali Mazda or something, and a buddy of mine, Sharif Al-Qadoos, was arrested, and his buddies were arrested, and they cracked down on all these journalists, and threw them in jail. Allah is back in jail, so it's not like they got free press in Egypt or a lot of these other countries, these Middle Eastern countries. I mean, and they arrest here in the United States. They arrest Max Blumenthal. They arrest Medea Benjamin.
Right.
So the free flow of information is the life's blood of the revolution. Without that, fuck, what are we going to do? Send smoke signals?
And all they have to do is name those people Medea Benjamin, an enemy combatant, and then they can starve them in prison and keep them naked and make them get sick and grow weak and not be able to be who they are anymore.
Right. So there's a battle going on, and you and I are part of it, and we're on the right side of history. And
Google is not.
No, Google is not. YouTube doesn't seem to care. I just, I did see a video of Medea Benjamin and what she did to Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Yeah.
You can catch it if you look for it.
Yeah. I think I saw it. I thought I saw it too.
She was like, she grabbed her sweater or something like that, and Wasserman Schultz was going, "Let go of me! Let go of me! Let go of me!"
Stop resisting! Stop resisting!
So, I mean, it wasn't assault. It was a little bit grabby, but, Medea Benjamin, I'll defend her right to grab Wasserman Schultz's sweater.
Fucking how the hell does Wasserman keep her front teeth? That's what I'd like to know.
How the hell does a politician with a face like a donkey get so far up the ladder? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, she certainly didn't sleep her way there. So, I don't know, man. It's like, thank God I'm not in Washington, D.C. How some rebels and revolutionaries survive in Washington, D.C., I don't know. It's like Luke Rudkowski, he kind of...
Trump should pardon Julian Assange. Somebody just said in the chat room, Trump should pardon Julian Assange. He should, but he's too much of a pussy to do it. He says shit like WikiLeaks. I don't know anything about WikiLeaks or Julian Assange. So I mean,
Right.
that's who Trump is. Meanwhile, Tulsi Gabbard has made clear that if she becomes president, she will pardon Julian Assange of any and all charges that the United States is bringing against him, and she'll pardon Chelsea Manning, and she'll pardon Edward Snowden. So if that's what you think should be done, there's your candidate. Okay, and I think an awful lot of people feel that way.
Well, it says a lot that a military person would pardon Chelsea Manning, because that was, I mean, I'm not, I want Chelsea Manning pardoned also, but that's a little bit different from publishing.
Well,
Because-
Tulsi Manning, yeah, no, I agree, but I mean, Tulsi Manning really has already, Chelsea Manning has already really fucking done her time.
Right, I agree with that,
Yeah.
100%. I
She's
agree
done
with
more.
that, yeah.
She's done plenty of time. She should be out and you know and whatever it is she wants to do, let her go do it. You know, I mean, she's a hero. She tried to do the right thing by the American public and fuck the government, like you keep saying. And so she, you know, and she did do the right thing by the people. So. And the soldiers, by the way, just because that you're telling that the Pentagon is fucking committing war crimes all over the place, just because you give that information out to people, doesn't mean that you're somehow against soldiers. You're protecting those soldiers, because the last thing you know, the soldiers come home from these places broken, and the reason they come home broken is because they have to do horrible, heinous acts. And like killing journalists or killing people that are just rushing for cover, and they're fucking in their helicopter and taking them out with missiles and shit, you know. So it's enough. We don't need this crap anymore, you know. And nobody wants it. I just don't. And that's what we have to recognize, is that nobody wants war. Except for the war profiteers and the people in Congress, apparently. So who the fuck are the people? So who the fuck are the people in Congress representing?
And Wolf Blitzer.
Yeah, right. And the media wants war, because
Wolf Blitzer actually was having a debate or an interview with somebody, and the somebody, whoever he was interviewing, was obviously anti-war, and Wolf Blitzer's response was, well, if we stop all these wars, what about all the jobs that'll be lost with Raytheon and Drummond and all those companies? That was his response. I couldn't believe he said that keeping the wars going was better for the American economy, and that was his excuse. He said that on national TV. It was amazing.
They're just so blatant about it at this point. You know, that war is a fucking gimmick, and we know it, and you know, the second there's no more war, you know, our news is going to be fucking, nobody's going to be interested in the news anymore, you know.
Well, it's our biggest industry.
Yeah.
The biggest industry of America is war. That's where we make all our money.
And so it's no wonder that the second biggest industry is fucking pharmaceuticals, right?
Yeah. And what do you got? Every 18 hours, another veteran commits suicide. So it's like, fuck.
No, I thought it was like 20 veterans a day are committing suicide.
No, I think one every 18 hours. So figure it out. I don't think it's 20 a day, man. I think that's a little overestimate there. If it was 20 a day, that even Wolf Blitzer would be talking about it. But if it's one a day, nobody notices. That's kind of the way things slide under the radar, you know. But I think it was
Wilco says it's 20 a day. I'm pretty sure it's 20 veterans a day are committing suicide.
So 20 a day times 2 times 3 is 5. That's 5,000 a year.
Right.
That's 6,000 a year.
Yeah, I know.
Is that right, Wilco?
I don't know. It's a lot of people. I hear what you're saying. I get that, but I think that's what I've heard. That's what I've posted again and again. I'm pretty sure 20 a day.
I swear I don't know the actual figure, but I think Wilco is wrong. I think we've got 20,000 suicides or deaths from veterans since 9/11. Maybe he's you know, since we invaded Iraq in 2003. I think that's the statistic, is 20,000 suicides or deaths by veterans. So it's not 20 a day. I'm sorry, Wilco, we'll go post a little thing on the chat if you can get I mean, somebody can Google it. I don't think it's 20 a day. I think it's one every 18 hours commits suicide. And that's not including the homeless deaths or things like that. So, yeah, God bless the veterans. And a lot of that is due to pharmaceuticals because we've all heard the story about the veterans go in and say, I just killed the family and I killed the dog and I killed the children and I'm upset. And then the army or the military psychologist will just give them some pills. We'll take these, you know.
Right.
And, you know, and that's what they get on those drugs. Their brain chemistry changes. If they get off them, God knows what happens. We all know what happens when you get off your meds. And so they're fucked for life because of the pharmaceutical industry. And so God bless the veterans, man. I feel sorry for the Vietnam vets who got spit on when they came back from war, you know. And God bless the Vietnam vets too, you know. So
I just posted a link to a video that says more than 20 vets a day commit suicide. More than 20.
More than 20 a day?
More than 20. I just posted a link that says that.
Yeah, I see your link. Wow. I mean, that's worse than I thought, man. That's pitiful. 20 a fucking day.
Yeah.
Holy God.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So, and that's what I'm saying is that when the Pentagon and the Congress and all these people talk about how much they care about the troops, and we have to think about the troops, and oh, we can't let their sacrifice go to waste, and oh, they give a shit. You know, I mean, suicide is not that hard to fix. You know, I mean, it's actual showing the slightest amount of care, and you can fix suicide more or less. But these people, you know, are just completely heartless, and they want to act like they care so much. It's so disgusting.
And I don't know about you. I'm sure you've talked to veterans. I've talked to veterans. People listening have talked to veterans. But every time I go up to a veteran and I try to tell them about 9/11, I get the fucking the freaky look, like, you're a fucking wacko, you're not American. You have a really hard time exchanging that information with the veteran because they're so mind controlled by.
I think it depends on when they were in the service. Honestly, I think if they were recently in the service, maybe you get that look. But I think that if they were in the service 20 years ago,
right? Yeah,
different.
You're right. I'm going up to guys with uniforms on.
Yeah.
Trying to talk to them, and that's where I'm going wrong. It's like you can't talk to those guys. They just got out of boot camp or they came back from their first deployment and they're all gung-ho and it's like, God bless America and I'm going to save the world and kill some brown people.
It's so, you know, when they come back, you know, the deal is, okay, is that they have this huge sacrifice that's being made by their buddies, by them, you know, being separated from their families, and when you come back, and people are like, oh, the war is all based on lies, and you go, no, I was there to do good, and I was there, you know, you don't want to, you don't want to, you know, realize that you are working for evil. You know what I mean?
Cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
There's a whole science to cognitive dissonance, and when they realize they did that for false reasons,
yeah,
and all the things they did on top of it, killing people and seeing their friends blown up, and it was all a lie, and the government is nothing but a liar.
Yeah.
And when they realize that, it's like, oh, fuck. I mean,
that's when they kill themselves. That's the first time they try to kill themselves.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I know I was building a temple up at the Ojai Foundation, and I was running the crew, and we sat down for lunch, and this was, I don't know, 2004 or something like that. And one of the guys on the crew...
Sorry. They came at the same time. I thought that was part of that box. Oh, sorry. I pulled one of Craig's boxes off the porch and put it in with my boxes. So he thought we got somebody stolen stuff off the porch. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I was sitting down with the guys, and one of the guys was talking about how 9/11 was an inside job, and I said, it's not an inside job, dude. The American scene, politics is just a free-for-all. Everybody's trying to, our government wouldn't do that to us. Everybody's just trying to get a little piece of the pie. It's a free-for-all. There's no conspiracy. And then the same guy that, he said, well, what about Tower 7? And I didn't know what to say, I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And so the same guy got me my first computer, and then I started doing my own research. But I remember I was sitting on the lawn at lunch eating a hamburger with a bunch of guys, and I told them, if I ever find out, I couldn't argue with his argument because I didn't know anything about it, but
Yeah.
I remember saying, if I ever find out our government did that to us on 9/11, you'll have to kill me to shut me up. And within the year, I found out. And it was, and true to my word, man, it's like I went right into action and started learning, and here I am talking to you, Swami of the Christmas Tree, on YouTube, which is about to be shut down by the U.S. government. So, smoking weed. But no, it got me into action because I believed the official fucking story. And when I found out, holy fuck, it blew my mind. So I understand cognitive dissonance. I guess I was luckier than others.
So when I first started talking about this with people, or they first started talking to me, it was so overwhelming that I was like, you have to stop. Okay, I can't listen to any more of what you're saying. I need a break, because I mean it was just so powerful. It wasn't that I didn't believe them or I thought they were crazy. It was just too much for me to absorb, and it was like I couldn't. It was like I felt like lightheaded, and like my stomach wasn't right, and I was having trouble breathing, and you know what I mean. It was this kind of anxiety thing, and so I think it's just a normal reaction for people to want to be defensive. They want to go, no, you're a crazy person, and so because they don't want to believe that.
They don't want their illusions destroyed.
Yeah, right. They don't want to have to rethink everything, basically.
Right, and then when you go back into history, you just go back to JFK or the Watergate break-in, which was no big deal.
Yeah.
Apparently the guys that broke into the Watergate Hotel were looking for JFK information anyways. But, you go back into history and you realize, oh, fuck, there's this big plan that all these powerful people want to subjugate the masses. And the implication of that alone says, there's some people living on the planet, they're not like us. They don't mean us well.
Right.
And they have a history of killing us. And so, as long as you're watching Married with Children or The Simpsons, everything's okay. But when you shut that shit off and you wake the fuck up, you realize everything isn't okay, man. I'm not in Kansas anymore. They blew up a bunch of buildings and they blamed it on people in a cave, So
yeah.
Fuck that shit, human lives have value, and I'm not some weak little pussy where I can't handle the truth. Somebody comes up to me and they say, hey, Mike, you got a real problem, and this is what your problem is. I'm not going to attack them. I'm going to see if they're telling me the truth. Do I have a problem? What is my problem? So apparently I'm halfway decent at self-examination, and the people who can't examine history, like the Holocaust, the Holocaust, or their government, or USS Liberty, or
Gulf of Tonkin,
or the Gulf of Tonkin, or fucking Pearl Harbor, for that matter.
Pearl Harbor, good example.
Yeah, we broke the codes. We broke the Japanese codes 2 years before Pearl Harbor. We were fully aware they were mobilizing to attack Pearl Harbor and the Philippines and a bunch of other islands.
And the American public wanted nothing to do with the war with World War II. They were doing everything they could to stay out of it. And then they got their Pearl Harbor, or 9/11, you know, and
World War One.
Yeah.
Germany was winning World War One. Germany had won World War One, and then the WZO, the World Zionist Organization, went to England and spoke to the Prime Minister because the Prime Minister had knew that he was losing. The Germans had submarines. They had complete control of the oceans. Nice. And so the Jews went to England and said, we will bring the United States into the war if you give us Palestine. And that was what was called the a letter written to Lord Rothschild by Lord...
I don't recognize that word.
Balfour, Lord Balfour, right. Thank you, Andrea. So that's how the Jews dragged the United States, and that was Woodrow Wilson, by the way, dragged the United States into the war, was at the same time they made an agreement with Lord Balfour to give the Jews Palestine as long as they got the United States into World War I. So we were isolationists, and Woodrow Wilson ran on an isolationist policy, and then the Jews had such power at that time that they were able to get us into the fucking World War I, and then World War II, and then Vietnam was the military-industrial complex on steroids, you know.
Yeah.
And before, when we were leaving Vietnam, all of our, instead of taking all our jeeps and tanks and planes and cannons back to the United States, you know where we took them? We took them right to Korea for the next planned war. It was a planned war. So, and this is what Smedley Butler was talking about.
Korea was before Vietnam.
Yeah, you're right. So what did I mean to say?
Talking about the weapons from World War II, or?
Yeah. Was it World War II? We were in Indochina in World War II. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, I think from World War II we took all our weapons to Vietnam for the next war.
No,
so the
next war after World War II was Korea, and then was Vietnam.
Okay, so it must have been Korea.
Yeah.
But it was a guy.
Unless they took the weapons from Korea to Vietnam, that would make sense.
I think by that time they'd made new weapons, but
yeah, well, they're always making new weapons.
So it's just this perpetual. Sorry, I got my facts mixed up, but it's just this perpetual kind of like global chessboard. We hop to this place, we hop to that place, and now they got it down to a science where it's wars by proxy. You know, we can hire ISIS to fight our wars. We can hire Christian fascists in South America to fight our wars and get us the fucking lithium we need and get us the oil we need. And it's just blowing up brown people or yellow people. It doesn't matter anymore as long as I got my MTV. I just want my MTV and my steel-belted radios and just leave me alone, you know. I'll pay my taxes. Just leave me alone, you know. It's pitiful. So sorry I got my facts mixed up, but I know that the weapons went to the next war, and I don't. Since I'm a stoner, my brain swims around a lot, and I can't quite get all the garbage out of my mouth in the correct order. But
don't you dare blame the weed on this shit, dude.
Yeah,
I fucking hate that. No. I just pointed out because I don't want people to think that we're just putting out facts. It didn't. What you were saying wasn't adding up, and I wanted to make sure that.
No. I'm glad you corrected me because
Yeah.
I don't want to be wrong on any facts whatsoever.
Yeah,
It's just,
but that totally makes sense. I mean, this thing with the never-ending war, and that's why I keep coming back to Bill Clinton. Is that the war seemed like on a grand scale seemed to come to kind of an ending under Bill Clinton. I mean, there was the thing in Yugoslavia. But and a lot of people died there. I don't want to act like it wasn't a big deal. And America had its fingerprint all over it, and fucking carpet bombing and shit there, right? America did carpet bombing, didn't they?
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's pure evil on America's part. But it was this kind of contained thing, as where Vietnam seemed like a giant thing, and there was like so many American people that died, and it went on forever. It just seems like we started to phase that out, and then 9/11 happened, and that's the whole point. Is that you with these people, this evil that's never held accountable, we have to find a way to hold these people accountable. Otherwise, there's no reason for them not to do the next evil. They just benefit off it. And that's why I want to lock up people like Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney, who fucking vote to keep, do everything they can to keep wars going, and then they profit off of it. Those people need to go to prison so that we make an example of this is not acceptable human behavior. It is not okay to be like this. You're lucky we don't execute you. And that's what needs to happen in order for it to stop. Because if we don't make examples of these people, then there's absolutely no reason for the next people or these same people just to do the same thing over and over and over again. It's like with the cops. When the cops go and they kill the wrong person, yeah, they pay $4 million, but they never have to say, oh, we did something wrong. And if they don't say we did something wrong, then they don't have to change anything because they didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much falseness in the world, in all of these governments, and it's so institutionalized, and it's on our TV every fucking day. You can see it in the debates. You can see it in every word Trump says almost. See it in everything Obama did. Obama's just a good liar. He's not a good guy. And so if we have this falseness in our leaders, like you're fond of saying, how, what's the remedy? We have to make ourselves truer than true if we're going to be the change we want to see in the world, So I'm trying. I'm sorry I got my facts wrong. It was from Japan to Korea. That's what it was. And it's just, it's like, it's like Smedley Butler said, war is a racket. And we're seeing it, and they're not stopping anytime soon. It doesn't matter.
They're not stopping because no one's held accountable for it. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is why Hillary Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama must go to prison. These people profit from little children being blown into a million pieces. Okay, all you pro-life people, we have to think of the children. That's why those people are truly doing that. They're living, breathing children that are off playing on the beach, playing soccer with their brothers. They fucking drop bombs on them, 8, 9, 10-year-old brothers, and blow them into 10,000 pieces.
And so let's all just recognize our brother and sister, and it doesn't matter if you got orange hair or 3 legs, or you're in a wheelchair, or you were in the army, or you're an ex-drug addict, or you're an intellectual, or you're a bricklayer, or whatever the fuck you do. the guy next to you has equal rights with you. The girl next to you and your neighbor has equal rights with you. And the person across the planet in some podunk country has equal rights with you. And we don't have the right to kill those people. And so let's just try to be, you know, what did Rodney King say? Let's all just get along. Can't we all just get along? And I try to do that. I mean, I don't kill too many people. I might beat a couple people with bats every once in a while, but I'm pretty fucking, you know, it's hard to push me over the edge. But, you know, if I eat enough turkey, maybe they'll just go away. But I just want people to treat each other well. And if you don't get along with your family, don't go have turkey dinner with them.
Yeah, or make a bunch of pot brownies and put that in the middle of the fucking dinner table.
Right. You know, just get them all loaded.
Because you don't like them anyway, so. So, anyways, all right, Michael. Well, I'm glad to hear. You know, thanks so much for hanging out and adding so much to the conversation.
Yeah, well, you take care, bro, and try to keep it 5 days a week if you can. I think that's good. You'll grow. What do you got, 25 now?
Yeah.
You keep it up in a month, you'll double that easy.
All right. Well, I really will take that to heart. I'm glad to hear. Thanks so much for that input, because I'd really like to know if anybody else has input on how many days a week we should do. And you think the time is right too, 7 p.m.?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, bro. Take care.
All right. Good to hear from you. Thanks. Yeah, and you know, we are doing this Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific to whenever. You know, we have hour-and-a-half long phone calls. It might go a little long some nights, but you know, we're, like I said, we're here. We're doing this Monday through Friday. It's always better when you're here. We're getting the word out. As Michael's saying, I've been asking people what they think. If they think that we should do it, you know, like say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or you know, Monday through Thursday, or Thursday through Friday, or change. You know, if we should do something different than, you know, Monday through Friday. But you know, I'm down to do it Monday through Friday. It's not about me. I don't want you guys getting tired of looking at my face, you know, hearing my voice. I don't want you guys tired of, you know, me whining about Google, you know, because Google is choosing to be pure evil, you know. So if you have any input on that, feel free. Please let me know. Okay. So, and thanks to UTN, to Uncover the News, for the lovely chocolates that I'm enjoying tonight. This is a crispy crunch bar. It's like a Butterfinger, but I think it's better. It doesn't seem like Butterfinger has like this sickly kind of sweetness to it. And that's what I'm noticing about the Canadian chocolate. It doesn't have the same sweetness that it's smoother. It's not so over the top sweet, you know, sickly sweet, as you might say, or I might say, someone might say. Okay, so anyways, and we're doing this every Monday through Friday. If you guys have any input on that, please let me know. Again, there's like nearly 11,000 videos on this one Mox News YouTube page, and it's an archive, a library of a living document of and I like to call it a living document because every day people come to see the videos and they add to the videos. You guys, what I've always said is, you guys, your comments, you sharing with me and everyone else is what really gives the flavor to Mox News. You know, it's what makes it exciting and not just you know, just another news clip, you know, and there's more to it than that. You know, I mean, I'm very selective on what we post, but anyways, there's like 11,000 videos here. So if you want, if you haven't been around Mox News that long, if you're not familiar with the work, all the videos are actually chosen because they were worthy of your time. So if you're looking for something to watch and you haven't seen all the videos, there's like 11,000 of them. You might want to take a minute and look through Mox News a little bit closer. And then I'm currently posting the daily news over on another page, a C-SPAN Junkie page, and you will find the link there to that page. Here it says it says Mox News alternate YouTube page, and I'm posting over there on the C-SPAN Junkie page right now because there's a community guidelines violation on this page, on this Mox News YouTube page. There's the C-SPAN Junkie YouTube page in the chat right there. If you're not signed up, please click that link. Okay, so and subscribe over there to C-SPAN Junkie. I did post, like Michael was saying, I did post a video on Syria yesterday, on the chemical attacks in Syria, where one of the investigators is leaking emails about them hiding evidence that kind of clears Assad. So and that what they were saying about the chemical attacks, the chlorine gas attacks, didn't make sense. So if you want to see that video of it's titled Assad. It's titled Pentagon. New evidence shows Pentagon and MSM lying about chemical attacks in Syria. That you will find on this C-SPAN Junkie YouTube page. I posted that yesterday. So if you're not signed up for that one, that's where the daily videos are going there now. Okay, so, and this is a call-in show. So someone called during Michael was speaking, and I didn't want to interrupt him because I thought that was a pretty good conversation. So please call back if you like. Otherwise, we are 95 minutes in, and again, this is all, I'm here, I'm doing this 5 days a week. I'm doing the daily posting over on the C-SPAN Junkie page, and again, I'm just picking videos. I'm only getting things that are honestly worthy of your time and actually important to all of us at this moment. I'm really just being very selective. I have to protect this archive because Google, YouTube wants to act like it's okay to just just throw away something that is of value to all mankind. It's like, you take the Tesla inventions, the pulling electricity out of the air, and you take it and you hide that from humanity forever. This is who Google is choosing to be, and it's obvious. I mean, I've posted over 70,000 videos on YouTube. I'm pretty sure at this point, well over 65,000. And YouTube has taken 50,000 plus of those videos down off of YouTube. And if all 75,000 videos were in this one library, there'd be millions and millions of links back and forth across the internet. This one YouTube page with 11,000 videos has like 600,000 links that's shared back and forth across the internet, right? 600,000 links. If this YouTube page goes down, 600,000 links will be broken by Google and YouTube. Just fucking hundreds of websites, right? 600,000 links, okay, from this one page. Now, if all 70,000 videos that I have uploaded to YouTube were in one spot, there'd be millions and millions and millions of links. No one would be able to deny that this is of value to all mankind. And that's what Google is choosing to throw away. That's who Google is choosing to be. This evil that throws away something that's of value to all mankind, that provides a service to this amazing platform, and they take it away. You can't have private messaging anymore. Too much information sharing going on. We take it away, little bits at a time, and then they break. They say, here, use this to share videos everywhere, and then they break hundreds of millions of links because they can. Because it doesn't matter. Because we don't care. They're breaking the internet. Google is breaking the internet. It's sick and disgusting, and how the management of Google, the management of YouTube, can even discuss it. Makes them sick and disgusting human beings. Okay, so we're clear, Google, YouTube. Okay, and how you look yourselves in the mirror is just. I guess if you have a $50,000 mirror, maybe it makes it easier to look yourself in the mirror. I wouldn't know. I don't look in the mirror very much. I don't care. I'm not concerned with my anything. I'm really not. I'm doing the right thing. I know I'm doing the right thing. And how the people who would do something like that, destroy libraries back and forth across the internet, hundreds of millions of links back and forth across the internet, burned libraries. This is like medieval times. When they capture somewhere and they find a library of all these books, they burn the fucking libraries like those people never existed. That's a crime against humanity, because that's information that is never able to get back. And by that, what I mean is, all like on this one page, if YouTube takes down this one Mox News YouTube page with 11,000 videos on it, breaking 600,000 links across the internet, it also vanishes millions and millions of comments. Okay, those comments were made in the moment when that video was uploaded, in the moment when that shooting just happened, when that president was just elected, when this happened or that happened, these historical events and what the people felt about it right in that moment. That's gone. Never to be. That cannot be replaced. And Google has done this again and again and again. Without the slightest bit of heart. You would think that they would be like, oh, well, here's an archive of 10,000 videos, and we have a copyright complaint. So on 10,000 videos, we have a copyright complaint. So maybe we better look at what the content on this page is and go, oh, well, this is of value to all humanity. And it would be wrong. It would be evil to delete that. It would be hurtful to mankind. That kind of evil, and they do it anyway. That's what kind of sick people they are. So, and that's what Mox News does. That's what you help make happen at Mox News when you donate to Mox News. Is you help build these archives that are of value to all mankind. And as long as I have your support, I will not stop doing this. There's plenty of other places besides YouTube. You want to get rid of me? You want to strike me down again, YouTube? You watch. YouTube, Google, you're making a huge mistake. Again. And every time you have struck me down, I've come back. And I've gotten more subscribers than I ever had before. And now we're doing a whole new expansion of Mox News into live discussion, sidestepping the Google, the YouTube censor. So, and that's what we're doing. So, in case anybody's wondering, and we're eating chocolate, and we're smoking weed, and all these things Google hates. All these things, anything where you're like encouraging freedom and sharing, anything where we're encouraging sharing, this chocolate is from Canada. This is from our good buddy Uncover the News, and she has a YouTube page, and she's out of Canada. She sent this from Ontario. All these chocolates, we got all these chocolates, and we got fromage crunchies, And if you want to send fromage crunchies or anything else to Mox News or any kind of Christmas cards or stuff, the the address to send it to is right there on the screen. Okay, so that's what we have going on. And I think that sounds like a good thing, right? We're sharing information, we're connecting with each other, we're sidestepping the YouTube censors, we're smoking weed, we're eating chocolate, we're actually reaching out to each other from across international borders. Amazing, right? This is exactly what Google hates. So, so we'll keep doing it because part of the reason that I kept doing this, even though they've tried to get rid of me and tried to get rid of me and tried to get rid of me, part of the reason that I kept doing this is because when you tell me no, or you make it clear that you hate what it is I'm doing, that tells me I'm doing the right thing. I'm on bullseye. So we're clear. Hello, caller.
Hey, one more thing, Michael.
What's up, G?
Today in Berlin, 5,000 tractors invaded the city and 10,000 farmers invaded the city. They're protesting I think they're new carbon regulations which affect the farm machinery. So that was a pretty big protest. 5,000 tractors and 10,000 farmers.
Yeah, I'll get video of that here in a minute. That sounds like a great. I love it when the farmers take action, man. When the farmers take action, you know something's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean a big tractor can take on a tank, really. So we have to rely on our farmers to take on the what do we call that? What do we call these armed police? ICE or Homeland Security. The farmers can take on Homeland Security. They really can. Get a nice harvester there and just fuck up a armored vehicle, full of cops. I mean,
yeah. Well, you see this new Tesla, the Elon Musk Tesla truck. You see
the one that's all squarish and angular.
Yeah, that one. They're
Yeah,
saying that's the perfect vehicle for the coming fucking civil war with the government because it's bulletproof and it's all ballistic and all this shit. So they're saying it's ideal.
Yeah, well, hopefully it won't come to that. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll get our shit together and change our government before there's an actual revolution and they start throwing people in FEMA camps and shit, but...
Man, go back to smoking your weed, dreamer boy.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, baby. Take care, dude.
All right, good to hear from you. Yeah, someone mentioned that the other day. They're saying that, the Tesla truck is like supposed to be all like basically bulletproof. It's all made out of one piece of steel. It's meant to be anti-ballistic. The windows are supposed to take a bullet. So it's the perfect truck for the coming. It's a perfect vehicle for the coming civil war. When they shut down all the gas stations and they think that they own the gas, you can use your generators to charge your truck. You can pull a fucking tractor with it. I mean, you can pull a tank with it, like Michael was saying. You can take out from what Elon Musk was saying. You can pull an M1 tank with it, from what I understand. They did an interesting tug of war with a pickup truck on that. Yeah. I know, Mitchell. It seems like it. I have to agree. There's some weird shit going on there, Mitchell. All right. So before Michael calls again, would anyone else like to call this evening? Not that your calls aren't welcome, Michael. You can call all you want, buddy. Hey, MC. It's always good. It's always better when the marijuana community is here. Don't forget it. MC, we're doing this every Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Counting on you, man. So again, did you see that the MC? Did you see that the FDA issues a warning about CBD, saying that it's potentially dangerous to humans? because I figure, you know, everybody needs to know that before Thanksgiving, right? We're on like Thanksgiving Eve, and everybody needs to know the CBD, man. The CBD. Don't take the CBD. The brown acid is bad, dude. Don't take the brown acid, right? Because this is what they do. They do this reefer madness shit. You know, don't take the things that are good for you. You know. Meanwhile, they didn't say alcohol is potentially dangerous. You know, the evening before Thanksgiving. You know, I mean, or cigarettes. You know, don't smoke cigarettes around children. That's really bad. They don't say anything like that, right? You know. But the FDA, you know, they're looking out for you. They are. They're going to protect you and your kid. Think of the children. Think of the children. That's so awesome, Des. I'm really glad to hear that the CBD helped your dog. My dog was in the hospital for 10 days when he was 6 months old. Rufus, Craig's dog, and I started giving him marijuana the day he came out of the hospital, and he got it twice a day for like 6 months because he had to remain pretty calm. He got hit by a big old truck, and I'm pretty sure it made a huge difference in his recovery. So you know. I mean, he headbutted the front bumper of a full-size SUV going 35 miles an hour, and he's never had seizures or anything like that, you know. So, cannabis is a beautiful thing for everybody. Don't let the FDA fool you. All right. So again, this is a call-in show. Anybody want to talk about weed? We're talking about the FDA. We're talking about CBD. We're talking about war, like the drug war, the phony drug war that just pushes pharmaceutical drugs on the people to the point of creating a heroin epidemic. That's what the drug war has brought us. A heroin epidemic. And now the fucking FDA is starting up this reefer madness bullshit with CBD, the most harmless substance on the fucking planet. And it's so important to humans. You know, and so fuck the government. The government is full of shit. All the pillars of the government, the people, the police, the politicians, the priests, the medical, you know, people, the pillars of our communities are completely full of shit. Completely full of shit. Oh, there's no. How many generations has the medical industry, the medical community, the American Medical Association been telling us there's no medicinal benefits to marijuana, to cannabis? How many generations? Meanwhile, here's this safe, almost completely benign drug that can help children who have 300 seizures a week. Bring it down to 5 or 6 or 4 seizures a week. That's the difference between a life and no life. And it's a completely safe substance that anyone can grow in their backyard. And here we are getting this reefer madness shit about CBD again. And the you know, and the medicine, the doctors who we've turned to for generations have been telling us no medicinal qualities to marijuana. You know, I mean, and like I'm saying, I'm just pointing out, these are the pillars of the community. When we have a problem, when we have an issue that we can't fix ourselves, we turn to these pillars. We turn to the police. The police are so fucking full of shit, right?
I wanted to take this call.
Hello, caller.
Hey, what's up, old ass bitch? I'm back.
Oh, yay. How are you today?
I'm good. The drug war is bullshit. You know why? Wars end. This one hasn't.
Yeah, the drug war is complete and utter bullshit. There's no doubt about it. It needs to go away. All it does is hurt people. It's since I've been 15 years old, this government been at war with me. You know, because I smoke weed, because I choose the safest substance there is.
Yeah, we're lucky that the states are legalizing. Some of the states are legalizing it. More needs to.
Yeah, that needs to be nationwide. There needs to be, and they just
Damn
need to take
right.
all the fucking laws off of it. People need to be able to grow. People need to be able to grow their weed at home and then go to the farmers market and sell it in the farmers market that they have in their town square, man. That's how no laws at all.
Probably.
Yeah, that's. I mean, in Oregon, right? In Oregon, they have at the state fair. You know how they judge stuff like cattle and different. They have fucking weed now that you people bring their plants in and they judge the flowers. So they're judge at the state fair. They're judging cannabis flowers in Oregon. Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
Yeah, freaking
It is.
awesome, man. I love that.
it's fucking awesome.
I wish it was that way everywhere.
Fuck yeah.
So what are you smoking?
I just like this stuff.
Oh yeah, good, good.
It's good to be high out once in a while. You know how it is.
It changes all the priorities. It makes all the stress go away. You know, it makes all
Hell
the
yeah.
anger go away. It helps you just relax and move forward and make happen what you need to make happen in your everyday world, man.
Yeah, sex is even better on it too.
Fucking not just sex, food, colors, music, everything. It's so much
Fuck
easier
yeah.
just to smile and enjoy your life. And all these people are taking all these fucking pills from all these fucking doctors who are just guessing that this pill might help you by changing your fucking brain chemistry forever. You know, when they could just eat a cookie and be as happy as fuck, you know? You know what I'm saying? Do you hear me, people? This is what I'm saying. Now, see, now, you guys recognize that caller? That was the caller from yesterday that was giving me such a hard time. Okay? So, I want you to understand that this is what we do. You know, like when I say the trolls, you know, first thing he did was call me a bitch. You know, say, how are you today? Right? So, this is what I'm saying. And then we moved beyond his childish bullshit, and actually I connected with him on, yeah, the fucking drug war has to end, you know, and to me that's almost amazing. But whatever, you know, and that's what Mox News has done a million times over. That's what I've done on YouTube for the last 16, 17 years, going on 17 years. You know, is to build these archives that are of value to all humanity, and then you allow these people to like mature, you know, because they come in and they're I go fuck with these people, and then they mature, you know, and they actually become part of the community, and it's an amazing thing. So, anyways, I'm glad that I've been able to do this for the last 16, 17 years. You guys have no idea how much it means to me to have been able to, you know, touch so many people around the world, you know, and give them hope or you know, a desire to stand up and or help them open their eyes and see the truth and want to. It's like Michael saying, you know, you can only see the truth so much, and then you're like, you know what? No one can shut me up about this. I'm going to talk about this forever, you know, until everybody knows the truth, you know, and that's you know, that's partially what I've done here, you know, as again, these are your enemies. These are the lies that they're selling you, you know, and with your help, we've opened so many eyes, you know, and we have been of value to all humanity. So, and the vibration that we've set up, you know, what is the vibration that we've set up on this planet will continue long after we're gone off this planet. So, as long as there is humanity, because that's how deeply we've touched people. That's how wide we've opened their eyes. And that's what you make happen when you give back to Mox News, because Mox News survives solely on contributions from good people like you. So it's because of you and good people like you that I have been able to do this for 16, 17 years. I don't know if any of you have been here for 16 or 17 years, but I know a lot of you have been here a long time. And I'm so glad that we were able to do this together. Mitchell, you've been here for fucking ever. All right. So, anybody else want to call? And, I was really glad we got that call. That last caller, thanks so much for calling and showing that there's more to, that there is that option. There is an option, Google. There is an option, YouTube management. You can choose to be horrible, horrible human beings who hurt humanity. You can choose to be that, or you can choose to be something else. Okay? And know that there's a price to pay. Either way, you choose the good, you get the good. You choose the evil, expect the evil. Okay, so dime baggies, man. I haven't seen a dime bag forever. What was that? That was weird. Something just happened on my screen. Did you guys see that? Okay, so man, when I was in high school, we got these dime bags of Colombian gold. And then one day we were out of weed. It's like you couldn't find any weed anywhere, and I found one of these dime bags of Colombian gold, and we rolled up a joint, and we were at the arcade, right? And we smoked the joint. We went in the arcade, and it was just like I just laughed my ass off. It was like the most giggly shit ever. Oh my god, I want some giggly weed really bad. Giggly, 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 giggly. Not brainwashing, it's anti-brainwashing. Oh, bashing on George Bush. Bush, Bush was horrible. Bush was a horrible president. It's not that. It's that he did evil, okay? George W. Bush, on my birthday in 2003, attacked Iraq based on lies in your good name, with your tax dollars, based on lies, putting our sons and daughters, our brothers and sisters into harm's way, our mothers and fathers into harm's way, without proper body armor. I don't know if you guys remember the beginning of the war, but they didn't have proper. Not all of them even had gas masks. They were talking about there was going to be chemical attacks, and not even all of them had chemical suits. Not all of them had proper body armor. It was disgusting. They were rushed into Iraq, completely based on lies, on my birthday, March 19, 2003. And I will never, ever forget it. I cried and cried that night that happened. And 1 million plus Iraqis have died because of lies that George W. Bush and the Pentagon told. And it was done in your name with your tax dollars. So yeah, I take that kind of personal. George W. Bush needs to be in prison in order to make the world a safer place for little children. It's that simple. There doesn't even need to be a trial. Everyone on the planet can probably agree with that. There doesn't even need to be a trial. He just needs to go to Barack Obama needs to go to prison forever to make the world a safer place to live. Because we have to make examples of these people. Because if we don't make example of the ones that we know did pure evil in our names, then someone else is going to come along and do it again real soon. And I'm not good with that. It needs to stop. And the only way it stops is if we hold people accountable. That's the only way it stops. It's why cops keep shooting people, innocent people, for no reason. Because no one's held accountable. Because again, they say, "Oh well, here's your $4 million to your family," but we didn't do anything. You know, you did do something wrong, and you need to be held accountable for it. And if the cops go ahead and make their $4 million payout to the family, and the family has to sign, whatever agreement for the fucking settlement, the settlement statement, it says that the cops did nothing wrong. And if the cops did nothing wrong, then they don't have to change anything. They don't have to change anything. That's why for generations now, the cops have been murdering people, and that nothing's changed. Because they never have to admit that they did something wrong. If they did something wrong, then we have to change it to keep them from doing something wrong in the future. But if they didn't do anything wrong, there's nothing to change. And that's why people like George W. Bush, again, I take the George W. Bush thing very personal, done in your name, with your tax dollars, as if you approved of it. Understand? All right, so on that lovely thought, again, and this is what I've been doing. 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 Going on 17 years now. This is what I've been doing. And it's been my honor to do this with you, okay? And I know some of you have been around here a long time, and you know what it is I'm talking about. Okay, I've always said, especially when we've been on the edge of, perhaps disappearing, that it's been my honor. Whatever happens tomorrow, if Mox News is not here, and I never see you again, please know, I walk away with my head held high, because I know we've done the right thing here. I know that we made a huge difference for lots and lots and lots of people. And it's been my honor to have been of that kind of service to this community, so you know. Okay? Again, to you, TN, Uncover the News, thanks so much for the chocolates. And if you want to send chocolates, there's the address right there. If you want to send Christmas card, if you want to give a donation by snail mail because you don't want an electronic trail leading back to your computer, there's the way to do it. Okay? I don't want to hear, I can't do it. Anybody can send a little something. Okay? Some people only, I have a couple of people who give $1 once a month. Okay? And at least they give something, And I'm very thankful to have people like that, because I know that if they felt like they could, they would probably bump the dollar up to $5 to say, hey, Mike, here's a cup of coffee for you. Now I can actually give you enough to buy a cup of coffee once a month. How's that? So, anyways, I guess we're done here. Nobody's calling. Anybody want to call? I'll give you a minute. But then I'm out of here. I got turkey to prepare. I'm going to buffet. I'm not going to make a turkey. Buffet, baby. But we'll be back tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow night, set your VCRs. Tomorrow night is a new South Park, okay? Thanksgiving Eve, South Park. Those are legendary. Hello, caller.
Michael.
Yes.
Hello, it's Peter.
Peter, how are you tonight?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Eating chocolates.
Nice. Yeah, you got some nice Canadian chocolate there.
Sweet.
Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, I overdosed on Sunday. I don't think I told you that.
You overdosed?
I was out the whole day. Yeah, the first time I overdosed in a little while.
On what?
Didn't gauge my potency. I forgot how how high you can get off the wheat brownies.
Oh, so what happened?
Nothing really. I mean, there's nothing. You know, you OD on wheat brownies. There's not. You take a nap. You take a fantastic, very relaxing nap, and then you feel great. But this nap
That's
is
what
like
I would
all
say.
day.
Okay, if you here's the deal, people. If you OD on weed brownies, here's what you do. You order a pizza, and then you put on
Craig is wrong.
SpongeBob.
I am drunk.
And
Continue.
then you put on SpongeBob, and then you put your feet up on the couch, and you just relax. And before you know it, you'll be laughing your ass off and taking a lovely nap, and you'll be waking up the next day and being, God, I feel good.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it was so bad. I didn't even feel too great on Monday. Honestly, when I woke up, I was very tired all day. I don't know what happened.
So what do you mean you OD, dude? Tell me. Explain what you mean.
Nothing. I could tell I ate way too much, and I mean, it was strange. I've eaten brownies of the same size. You know, it was like a.
Well, you know,
I don't know. I mean, like some pieces are more potent than others. I'm noticing in this batch of brownies that I made. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe the bulk is not distributed as well as it should be. I don't know.
I don't think. I think that you got to mix it good in the bowl, Pete. But
I did. I mean, I mixed it fantastically.
The butter should all be the same strength. But you gotta look. I've told you again and again. I take like a 1 inch by 1 inch square of brownies. I take it 3 times a day. You know, first thing in the morning. It's and right. I made my butter on the 8th of November, and I made the brownies the same day. And now I still have like a couple days left of brownies. So my brownies last me about 3 weeks. That's about how long a tray of brownies lasts me. And I'm a medical patient who does it from the minute I get up in the morning. So I'm a big believer in micro dosing. I honestly think, you know, if the less you can take and get high and feel good, the better, because then it's not like you know, it's like not overwhelming all your senses. You know what I mean? Like what happened to you?
Well, I'm still fucking, dude. You have been making butter for a long time. I'm just getting into this shit. So you know, I only started getting into it because of the vape ban. So this is all very new to me. But I mean, yeah. I mean, I made a pound of butter and an ounce of weed, and it lasted me about 2 weeks. Using the method that I'm doing now, and I think I can do it a lot better because, according to you, I'm not using enough water. Admittedly, I'm not using enough temperature, and I'm not going for long enough. So I'm gonna take.
I did not say you're not using enough water. That's according to you.
No, okay, but you did say that I'm not going for long enough or enough at enough heat, and you're probably right.
I would recommend that you go a longer time. Really, if you can go, I would recommend at least 8 hours. If you can go 8 hours.
You're crazy. I can't go for that long.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for like 220F for like maybe at least 3, maybe 4 hours.
All right. Well, yeah.
I don't know, dude. I went.
It worked.
Huh?
It worked a lot when you did it a lot less time, right?
Yeah, I only went for 2 hours at like 160F last time, and they were pretty good.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So you got 2 batches of brownies out of that pound of butter?
I got yeah.
Yeah, well, I made, and you made that butter after you saw my video, so I'm still on the first batch of brownies that I made, so you know.
I only half abided by your method. I didn't use as much water as you did, dude. I used like, you use like a fucking gallon of fucking water, for Christ's sake, like. Which is what I need to do next time, because you need to have like the layer of butter on the top, and then the water, and then all the fucking shit flour on the bottom, and then so you can separate the butter out. That's how you're supposed to do it. And I didn't use enough water, so there really wasn't enough of a layer to, you know, I had a layer of butter on the top and then a layer of wet sand on the bottom, because I used like not much water at all. But next time I'm going to use more water, so I get a nice layer of butter on the top. So that should be a little bit better, you know.
Yeah. I think so too. It'll be easier all the way around, and you'll be more happy with the outcome. So are you making a new batch?
Yeah, higher.
Did you say you made a new batch of butter already, or are you making a new batch for Thanksgiving? Or
No, well, my mom is my dealer, so I see my mom
oh,
Thanksgiving, so she's gonna hook me up with the zip.
right on.
We're
So
gonna try out.
you're gonna
We're
take your
gonna-
magic butter machine to your mom's house?
No, my dad would flip. My dad's not cool with the weed.
Oh wow! But your mom's your
Yeah.
dealer. But your mom's your dealer. But your
Yeah, it's funny. Well, my mom knows a guy that grows, and I get it from her. So.
Wow, that's a sneaky man. Your dad's gonna. You get busted by your dad, he's gonna be pissed.
Well, he knows about it. He can't do shit about
Oh,
it.
okay, okay. Oh, you made it
Yeah,
sound
I mean-
like he's a. I don't know. I never understand
No,
the
we all
negativity.
smoked
towards
weed in
that.
front of him. You know, we had like a family birthday gathering a couple weeks ago, and we were just all smoking weed in front of him. And he was all angry. They were like, you know, go fuck.
Well, that does sound like fun.
Everybody smokes weed. He's like the only guy in my family who's like all disgruntled about it, and he just looks like the crotchety old guy. So he's just kind of like, whatever.
You gotta make some butter and give him a brownie, dude.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, he probably would be down with it.
Because it's, it's such a different thing. Say, this is different from the smoking. You should really try it. But don't give him too much.
I think this is just because my current method sucks, but I do find that the brownies are much more of like a sedative couch potato kind of high. I think I've mentioned this before. I don't get the same type of like, heady high that I get when I smoke it. And that's probably just because I'm not optimizing my butter process as well as I should be. But I do find that the edible high is much more body, much more couch potato, which I actually like. I don't mind it. I still get the euphoric sense of things.
Yeah. Well, if you had a couple dabs around, right, when you so you smash your flowers first, and you have some dabs around, and then you make your butter out of your smashed flowers, and then you have your butter, so you eat your edible, and then you're like, oh, I got this nice body thing going, and then you take a dab, and then you go, ooh, there's that head thing that I love. So that's how it works, dude.
I'm not inhaling shit into my fucking lungs anymore.
Okay,
Yeah, let me
good.
ask this
Well, that's
punk
good.
ass motherfucker Wilco. Hold on, Wilco's talking in the chat again. Alright, Wilco, let me ask you, there, smart man, who's fucking lived forever. Let me ask you, what temperature and for how long are you Wilco's saying crock pot at 8 hours, I did 18. What temperature are you going at? You gotta give me some specs here, bro. Well, I know you told me before, but I'm not going to go through the fucking archives, so please repeat yourself, smart ass. These people in your fucking chat, Mike, I tell you, you got some of the most intolerable fucking people in this chat I've ever fucking seen. All these goddamn Jew-hating fucking assholes. This Andrea Mitchell. Let me tell you, Andrea Mitchell, this fucking I know fucking everything fucking conspiracy fucking asshole. Fucking, the Jews did this, and the Jews the Jews are just a part of it. All right, they're a fucking smart ass. And don't even say Jews. It's not even Jews. It's a fucking small handful of fucking Jews.
Did you eat a brownie today?
I did, and it's wearing off.
Okay.
And that's why I'm all wound up. Goddamn people in the chat.
Well, they all.
Yeah.
They're just, Mitchell's very smart. They're all very smart people, dude. And they're just, and I don't think Wilco's trying to trigger you so much. I think you're looking to be
I know
triggered.
he's not. I don't know. There's just something about him that is just, I just want to hate on them. I don't know what it is. Same thing with Andrea. She just doesn't shut her fucking mouth. She makes some good points, but she just doesn't know when to shut her goddamn trap. Just babbles and babbles and babbles. We get it. The fucking Jews run everything. We all know that. You're not fucking teaching anyone anything. With your fucking incessant babbling. Who am I to talk? I'm the worst offender of all. Whatever.
Okay. Well, when are you headed for your mom's house?
I don't know. Probably Thursday or Friday.
Oh, Friday. Really? Might not be there for Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving is Thursday?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so I'll be in Newport on Thursday with my fams.
Cool.
And then, yeah, I'm sure my drug dealer's probably not going to be dealing on Thanksgiving, but probably Friday. This weekend, I'll make a nice batch.
Good.
I'll let you know how it went on Monday.
Good. Well, I hope you have a great weekend without the brownies. I know it sounded like you were looking forward to sharing that with your family, but you know, if you can't make
No,
it happen,
I
you can't
can't.
make it happen.
I mean, I could make it happen, but they're just all gonna fall asleep, and they're not really gonna enjoy it. It's not gonna be enjoyable. I don't think they're gonna be all sleepy anyway from eating all that fucking food, and then you give them edibles. They're just gonna fall asleep, and I need them to give me a ride home because I want to drink whiskey. So.
Oh, okay. Man has got to have priorities.
Indeed.
All right, Pete. Well, I hope you have a great weekend. If we don't hear from you before then, and thanks very much for calling. It's always nicer when you're here.
Motherfucker, you sit here on your fucking show. When no one calls you, you're like, man, no one's called. Does someone want to call? What the fuck? And then someone calls you, and then I talk to you for fucking 10 minutes, and you want to fucking hang up on me, asshole. What the fuck?
I'm not.
Hey, look, I want to say one more thing before I fucking go.
You go ahead, Pete, and say what you want to say.
Jesus Christ, man. You talk to fucking Mike for fucking 2 hours, and I'm on the phone for 10 minutes, and you want to fucking hang up on me. What the fuck is this shit? All right, look, I want to say one more thing before I fucking hang up on all you fucking cunts. I am so sick of PC culture, politically correct culture. I think it's the biggest threat to our democracy. Fuck the Jews and and all that shit. It's I think politically correct culture is a big problem, and I'm going to give you one example out of many. I'm a big comedy fan, Mike. You know me. I like to bring levity to the program, and there's a fine young comedian by the name of Shane Gillis. He's a comedian out of New York City. He's a very funny young man, and he was recently, he got a job on SNL. He got fired from SNL because he had made a comment on someone had found a comment that he made. They pulled up something that he said from one of his old podcasts. He had said a punchline where a joke where the punchline was chink or something. It was like an Asian joke. It was a joke perhaps in poor taste, but he's a comedian. He's trying to be funny. Sometimes comedians, when they're trying to be funny and edgy, they say things maybe a little out of line and poor taste, and he was fired from his job. And it really just made me upset because we live in a culture where people are not allowed to apologize, and if you're not completely politically correct and all inclusive and everything else, you need to lose your job and you need to lose your gig. Similar thing with like the famous comedian Jerry Seinfeld, right? We all love Jerry Seinfeld and his
I don't like
classic
Jerry
shows.
Seinfeld. I don't like Jerry Seinfeld.
Well, whatever. I mean, you don't have to. But the point is, Jerry Seinfeld got a lot of shit on his show because he didn't have a lot of diversity on his show. There was no black people. There was all white people. And Jerry Seinfeld got a lot of shit about that, but it was really just like, look, the people that I was around, he's a fucking white Jew from fucking New York. I mean, he doesn't hang out with a lot of black people, so, that was just his show. And, it's like there was a lot of comedy shows. Like, I know people involved in the comedy scene, and, if you're booking a comedy show, you have to book a white guy and an Asian and a black guy and a woman and a trans and the whole thing, and it's like people get shit because your lineup was all like mostly white men. How dare you? It's like, well, look, the white guys were the funniest people. It's not about diversity. It's about who's the funniest on my gig, And it's just this whole culture of political correct fucking horseshit. Quite frankly, it makes me want to throw up in my own mouth, and that's all I have to say. And I'll close on that, and I'll leave by saying, Wilco, you're all right, and Andrea, you can fucking blow me, you Jew hater, and Tulsi Gabbard gives me a big boner, and I love you. Have a nice night.
Okay, thanks, Pete. Thanks for calling. It's good to hear from you. I hope you have a great weekend. Okay, so what was he saying? Oh, damn. He was just saying something. He always throws me off with that Tulsi gives me a big boner. but yeah, the politically correct thing is, this. Number one, you shouldn't have to apologize, especially if you're doing some kind of artistic thing, you know, like Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles should never have to apologize for what they did. They did that for art. They did it for comedy, and it was hilarious. Okay, Pulp Fiction. But they should never have to apologize. Quentin Tarantino should never have to apologize for Pulp Fiction. It's amazing, amazing work of art, and it wouldn't be the same if you changed anything. And on and on and on. And comedians, if they say something that crosses the line, that's offensive to somebody, that's partially their job. That's partially how they open people's eyes, is by saying things that are offensive, or saying things that are going to offend certain people, because maybe certain people need to have their eyes open, and if we do it with humor, it might not hurt so bad as we rip their fucking eyelids off so that they can see for the first time in their lives, so to speak. You know what it is that I am saying? And the South Park guys, they did something like what Pete was talking about. The political correctness, right? With the PC principle, right? At first, I really didn't get PC principle. I was like, what the fuck is up with this character? It doesn't make sense to me. But as it moved forward, you could see that PC principle and the PC culture is just another way of bullying people. PC principle is constantly like, what did you just say? Because he said something that was politically incorrect, or that some people might can conceive as being politically incorrect. And there was a whole PC like thing that happened in South Park, and they made it really clear that PC is just another form of bullying. PC is a way to make people conform to what you think they should be, okay, which is bullying. Okay, people shouldn't conform to what you think. Like I've always said with this safe space stuff, you're not creating safe spaces for everyone. You're creating safe spaces for people who think just like you. Because if they don't think just like you, they're not safe, and we can't have them. PC is very dangerous. PC principle, if you're not familiar with it, PC principle was like 3 or 4 seasons ago, maybe 5 seasons ago on South Park, and that's really interesting. That's South Park started to take a whole different kind of turn when they came out with PC principle. It was more like a weekly soap opera that had kind of like a continuous flow to it. And I like that format. So, I highly recommend. There's going to be, again, a new South Park tomorrow night. Set your DVRs, because it's a Thanksgiving Eve new South Park, which means, I don't know if you saw a couple of seasons ago, they did the first Thanksgiving, where on the History Channel they did the first Thanksgiving, and it was all about how aliens were there at the first Thanksgiving, and God, it's hilarious. All right, their holiday shit is my favorite. I don't want to say that, because my favorite episode is not a holiday episode, but my second favorite episode is Critter Christmas, and that one is just amazing. So, that being said, I guess we're done here. We're not getting any calls. I'm not going to blather on for another 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 40 minutes. So, you guys had your chance. Thanks so much to everybody for tuning in. You guys really, again, you guys make the whole thing worthwhile. Without you, it would be completely meaningless. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you can give something back, your donations to Mox News help make something good happen. You guys know this. So if you can give something back to Mox News to help Mox News stay strong through this time of, where we're kind of on the edge of, we don't know what's going to happen next, And Mox News needs to be strong in case we have to move to some other format. So any help you can give, like I said, I have a couple of people who give $1 a month. Anything you can give matters. It really does. Makes a big difference. So thanks to everybody for all your support. Thanks to all the viewers for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific. So be sure and tune in. Motherfucker! Hello, caller. Alright, so I am done. But thanks for tuning in. Stay cool. We'll be back tomorrow night. Same Mox time, same Mox channel. And just stay cool. Because one of these days this war is going to end. It's got to end one of these days. And that will be because because we did something where we all came together and made it stop. Okay, so that's what we're doing. So thanks for tuning in, and keep up the good work, and stay cool until that day. Okay?
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, it still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on, tune in, and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level. From a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber, do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. moxnews.com.